and welcome to Both Sides Now, the show that tells you the stories behind the songs. And with me today we've got the fabulous Ursula Burns. Hello, and how are you?
Hi, Una, how are you?
I'm very, very well, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
So, singer-songwriter, harp, piano, theatre.
Yeah.
Tell us what else?
Well, music, comedy, pretty much anything. I have taken the unusual path with the harp and sort of been breaking down the cultural stereotypes of it and taking it where harps don't normally go. So I've taken it on a walk through lots of different mediums.
Fantastic. I know you have, because you've been a constant guest here in the studio.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for quite some time
Yes.
now. So I'm sort of glad to be part of a bit of your journey at least. So I'm really, really looking forward to what you're going to come up with for us here today, because you tend to have a very, what way would you describe your songwriting style? It's very sort of edgy, isn't it? Sort of look on life and...
Yeah, it's very immediate and it's very personal to me. I realised when I tried to look into the sync license and stuff that just like I'd made a big epic fail, and that I never really decided to become a songwriter. It was just always processing my emotional world or my thoughts on stuff. So for that reason it's been extremely varied. Like if I'm writing for theatre, it'll be context songs of characters or pulling the emotion out of a book or a story. And then if I'm writing for my own emotional world, it's usually processing either stress or relationships or you know.
And do you find it cathartic? Do you find getting it all out? So it's therapy, isn't it?
It was always therapy. Yeah. It's always felt like, well, my own albums have always felt like therapy.
And you mentioned before about writing diaries. Do you find any of the things that you've written years and years before find their way into your music, find their way into your art as well? Do you revisit any of those emotions, Ursula, or is it all in the now?
No, it goes. It fleetingly goes. But what I've noticed really interesting thing about my memory is that I can't remember like stuff maybe that I did yesterday or some really ordinary things, and then I open a songbook, say I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs now at this stage, and the book's like, when I open a book I can remember the lyrics by heart, all of them.
Isn't that fantastic?
You know, sometimes I might forget them when I'm performing or something, or change it up, but it's really weird. They're in some sort of
locked away somewhere. And I wonder, is that because it's attached to an emotion and it's attached to an experience, so therefore it's ingrained in you, isn't it, of course?
Yeah, it's funny, they really go in. It's all those lyrics and all those emotions are still, that it's been an amazing way to live life. It's sort of been a coping mechanism for me. I began to wonder, am I actually on the spectrum? Is there, like, you know, because this has just been how I've managed to get through life, is writing songs. And it does help me process emotions, and it does help me move on from things.
I'm the same, and at times I would call it the blessed curse.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, I think it's an amazing thing to be able to do, but on the other, it is a damn curse, isn't it?
It is. I love Leonard's perspective on it, Leonard Cohen, The Tower of Song. And there's an insular and a hermit type aspect to being a writer, or you tend to have to spend time alone to...
I totally agree with that, and I find most performers, musicians, songwriters and composers that I work with and know are actually introvert in person. And then people will say, well, how do you get on the stage and do all that? It's completely opposite, isn't it?
It's almost like there's a dualistic aspect. I'm a Gemini anyway, but I have got the introvert to write and create the songs and to process the emotions, and then you've got the extrovert persona that will get on stage and deliver it. But they're the same person, but it's two aspects of the self.
And do you find that one will exhaust you and one reinforces you, or do you find which is which exhausts you and what will fill you up again?
I'm the classic. After time with people, I need to spend a lot of time alone.
Yeah, me too.
So it's a balance, isn't it?
And
yet, when we're forced to be alone like this last year, or when you realise that you need the counterbalance.
Totally. It's sort of like careful what you wish for, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, here, listen, we're going to look at a wee video of you now. So can you talk me through what's going on, what the song is? Because the video is amazing.
Yeah.
So what is this we're listening to now?
Well, this is a song called Strange Clouds, which is from my album The Dangerous Harpist. This video was made on a real shoestring. Like, there was no budget for it at all. A lot of my stuff has been self-financed, and Michael McNulty, that's Michael Marmika playing in the band, and James, but Michael McNulty made the video for me. We were up at the Giant String, and I just brought I have this play the harp on stilts. It's like a performance piece. To be honest, it's very difficult to do really good harp when you're pushing a stilt contraption, and it's my stilt harp contraption, and I don't know why we did that. It has no relevance to the song at all. I just wanted to get the stilt harp in something.
It's an amazing shot, I can say. Actually, it opens up on that, and I was going, what is happening here?
It's just the performance. We should really just focus on the song and the lyrics and the message we're trying to get out. But I wanted the performer, and we wanted to. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do that. The ideas just seem to come, don't they? And you just seem to wrap them all up and say, let's give it a whiz.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, you're creating things and you go on a roll and you want to throw stuff at it. But I love that track is amazing, actually, because with Michael Marmika's production on that album, he really this whole thing. I have this whole thing about the harp rocks, but the harp obviously doesn't rock, But in that album, with Michael Marmika's production and his drums and stuff like that, that track actually does rock a little bit.
Yeah, I know, fantastic.
It builds up. It's got sonically, it's got a lot to it. So I like that.
As do all of your songs. I've noticed there's always definitely something in there behind. What I love about them is there's always the unexpected.
Yeah.
You never quite know what you're going to get with an Ursula Burns song, isn't that right?
Well, I suppose that comes from just creating in different mediums, and I love working with different producers and letting them produce, and the different flavors come out of things. And then obviously lyrically, I've never done the expected thing.
Yeah.
Because I like being truthful, and I like to take the element of surprise.
Sure. Well, you certainly do.
So that's always been an aspect. But I don't think that makes for the best way to make money out of your music or make a commercial.
I wonder, does anybody make money out of music?
I don't know.
That's certainly my thoughts on it.
But if I could go back and start again, I would put a more commercial head on and be less personal and less off the wall and less character filled.
I know, but
I would.
I wonder. I don't think that you would. But what do you hear? This song then is Both Sides Now, and this is where we give artists like yourself a chance to tell the story behind the song.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't always get a chance to do that when you're on stage.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about how other people can draw whatever they need or what they want out of your song. But the truth is, you're the only person who actually knows what it's about.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to do a song for us today.
Yeah.
But before you do, Ursula, what's the song and what's the story?
Okay, so the song is called Small Square Parks, and this is off my second album, Spell, which is, I'd got fed up playing harp and I wanted to move to the piano.
Right.
And I self-financed this album and made it all my albums in 1 week. This song was written a few years before that, and it was about Belfast in the 80s.
Right.
It's actually written about the Crescent Arts Centre, the wee small square park across the road from the Crescent Arts Centre in
just
Belfast.
Up the road.
Yes, just up the road. And it's really weird because when I look, because the song was written quite a long time ago now, say 20 something years.
Sure.
My memory has two aspects to it. Sometimes it's hard to remember exactly what. I know what I was trying to convey. It's basically about stress, about Belfast in the 80s, and about stress, about growing up in the sort of environment we were growing up in, where it was sirens and riots and anything could happen, bomb scares or stuff like that. So there was a natural stress in the environment. Yet this is about a breakup. It's about breaking up a relationship, and none of these words are actually said in the song. You wouldn't know by listening to the song that it's not. Oh, I broke it. But it is about a moment of severe personal stress with environmental stress going on, and instead of conveying that through telling the story of that, I've put together all the things I remember, sirens, and it's about how when you're communicating with someone and you see the pain in their eyes, or that moment where you're struggling to breathe because you're stressed out.
Yeah.
So it's about stress. The song is about stress and growing up in Belfast.
And it's funny you just said it, the 80s. You've just actually triggered me as well. We were living in a stressful time. We didn't even know it, and it's only like the frog in the boiling water. It's only when you're out of a thing.
Yeah.
that you realise how stressful it was before.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder sometimes how on earth we got through them.
Yeah.
How we have got through those years, and how there was any creativity at all, given the stresses that were pushed down on you. So you were going through, girl in the 80s, growing up in Belfast, going through all of this environmental stress. And then, of course, you've got young person stressed about the normal loves, breakups, finding jobs, university, all those things as well, just things that normal people go through also.
I wrote the song in the 90s, but I was referencing the stress of the 80s, and that was something I had to process. It stayed with me, you know.
Sure.
And it did come through in my music, so I thought that was an interesting song to put forward for this. So obviously, I write in comedy, and I love doing comedy, and I love being over the top and you know, making people laugh and stuff. But there is this other aspect to my songwriting, which is quite heavy, and that's what I brought today.
Well, thank you very much. A big dose of heaviness. Well, let's hear the heaviness.
Sorry.
We've got a beautiful baby grand for you here to play. I would absolutely love to hear it.
Okay, I'll go for it then.
Yes, thank you very much. Looking forward to hearing this one, Ursula.
Remind me of cheap trickery and armchair piffle. Small square parks remind me of the pain dissolving in your eyes. Small square parks remind me of the pain of rejection. Bolt from the blue, I told you I would be true, but pacts made in the dark are often thrown to the sharks. The pain in your eyes, the pain in your eyes. I can hear breaking glass, screeching brakes, children's laughs, vehicles out of control, control, control. This is where we shall end. Now where do we go? The pain in your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes. Small square parks remind me of Belfast winos, brown paper bags and vomit. Small square parks are waiting for the life that we bring, the life that we sing, the life that we break, the life that we take, the life that we need, the life that we breathe, we breathe, we breathe, we breathe, we breathe, we breathe. Small square parks are waiting for the life that we hope, life that we choke, the life that we need, the life that we greed, the life that we breathe, 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 we breathe. Small square parks.
Wow. Come on back over, Ursula. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
There was a real sense of atmosphere and depth and darkness.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. How long is it since you played that song, do you think, before the show?
Probably about 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it does revisit? It does get an outing?
Yeah, I like that song, and I have brought it out for other things. It's actually, that song, someone used it in a documentary in Germany, and I got emails for years asking me for it. So
it actually reminded me, I was just thinking, it's very film scorey, isn't it? It's certainly the piano playing.
So I've always considered it one of my more unusual songs, and I really, really like it because it does evoke that 80s
Oh,
Belfast
my heart was
for
beating
me.
faster there. There's definitely a real depth, that like a pressure on you when you're listening to
The
it.
children's laughs, screeching vehicles, children's laughs, all that.
It's
It just
completely
it reminds me of the 80s. It reminds me of all that.
I love in the winos, black bags or brown bags and vomit.
You don't expect that, and I always
So true.
Yeah, I know. And that park in particular, it should be such a. When you think of a small park, you think of a beautiful little Japanese garden or something.
Yeah.
But in Belfast, then you
That's
had
what
like
you
a
got.
wino and
That's
like
true.
vomit.
You're absolutely right. Thank you so much. Where will folk find you if they want to get in touch, if they want to listen to your music?
So I have a website, which is ursulaburns.co.uk, and I have the usual social media channels. I go under the Dangerous Harpist, and that would be all the places.
All the socials. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Ursula, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
It's been great. I
Thank
really,
you for
really enjoyed
asking
it.
me.
And once again, we've another great, strong, earthy woman coming to fly the flag for us women, eh?
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you so
Great
much.
idea. Thank you.
That's all for today, folks. Thank you very much. And join us next time on Both Sides Now.
Hello, my little friend. Take it all away.